Okay, welcome to week 2, the perfect study session. There's 7 key strategies that I'm going to be emphasizing, but before I do that, you might be asking yourself, well, how long should I study for at any given period of time? And the correct answer, or the most researched answer, would be 20 to 30 minutes at a time with a 5 to 10 minute break. But I want to emphasize that it's more about the quality of work as opposed to the quantity. Most students would probably work for, say, 20-30 minutes, have a 5 minute break, which turns into a 2 hour break, which we want to avoid. But as long as you know every 20 or 30 minutes, you just maybe stand up, stretch, drink a glass of water, and then keep going. But rather have focused short periods of time than long periods that are unproductive. Number 1, 1 minute mental prep. Having a 1 minute mental prep is essential to help you get in the right frame of mind, which is alpha state. Alpha state simply equals peak performance. All top competitors do it before every event at the World Memory Champs. It really helps keep you in the zone, and you can absorb so much more and recall so much more. 83% of sensory input comes from your eyes. So if you simply close your eyes, what some competitors do also is block out. Most competitors at the World Champs do is block out sound. Those are the two things that you need to be aware of. And even blocking out sight through or to having dark glasses can also just keep you focused. Number 2, a power scan. Doing a power scan teaches your brain or shows your brain what you're going to be building. Without doing a power scan, it's like starting to build a house by just putting up a door. There's no strategy involved. So doing a power scan, even for a minute or two, will be hugely helpful. Number 3, have a strict time limit. Having a time limit helps keep you focused, but what it also does is not only keeps you focused, but it keeps you focused by helping you move way faster than what you would have without having a time limit. Okay, the general management principle says you'll do what you need to do within the time limit that you've been given, and that's why having a time limit is critical. Number 4, having something to work towards or beat is also essential or critical. And the reason for this is it helps up your game. Imagine you competing against a friend at something, and you want to beat your friend, and you're definitely going to up your game because there's some benchmark of performance that you can beat. Okay, so having something to work towards or beat is critical. Number 5, the way in which you get 80% of the work done with 20% of the effort is focusing on the most important 20% and building from there. The way we looked at the strategic layering process, from the most important, to the most detailed, should I say. So the critical information being the foundation, then the detail, then the refiner method. Number 6 is to revise. Without effective revision, you're not going to get the best out of your study session. And what I recommend is every 2 or 3 pages to revise, or every 10 bits of information. You might be saying, well, Darren, what's a bit? A bit can be like a fact, a figure, an equation, idea, a concept, specific bits. So you wouldn't go more than this. And ideally, you're wanting to try get 3 or 4 revision sessions or seeing the work 3 or 4 times within a 20-minute session of learning. And number 7, you want to bring it all back together. So if you know your work, it's true learning is memory and understanding. You can close your book and you can actually bring it all back. How much do you remember? How much can you understand? And the more strategic and creatively, more logical, strategic, creatively different, the better. Okay, but let's look at the 2 biggest reasons for failure. People, you might be one of them, as you get into way too much detail too quickly. Your brain can't hold it. You need to obviously look at the strategic layering process. And number 2, you might be going way too far ahead before revising. So you'll finish your work and think, sheepers, I can't remember anything because I just haven't revised enough, or you've gone into too much detail, or possibly you've done both. You need to have those short periods. Even within 5 minutes, you need to be seeing the work twice. Within 15 minutes, you need to be seeing it maybe a third time. Within 30 minutes, should be about the same. In 60 minutes, you're seeing the work at least 4 times. So a recommended amount of information per session, I recommend 30 to 40 bits per 20-minute session. So let's have a look at it like this. Number 1, you get your foundation, 30 to 40 bits, which is quite doable, of new information. You consolidate, bring it all together, see how much you remember. And obviously this is using all the memory systems, all the speed systems you've been taught. Number 2 is you detail, you build onto what you've done. originally, hopefully in a different color, consolidate again. So with that, you've got 30 to 40 in each session. That's 60 to 80 bits within the in those 2 sessions of learning. So if you look at that, that's one focus session of learning in total with a small consolidation break in between. So 30 to 40 minutes, you're actually getting 30 to 40 minute, 30 to 40, excuse me, bits of information within, let's say, a 40-minute session, which is huge. Then you got to be honest with yourself. You'll be like a boss. If you do that, you're going to be a part without a doubt, set apart from the rest of your class. Okay, so let's look finally at the final tip is simply to doodle. A conference I went to in the Middle East by Dominic O'Brien, the 8 times world champion, he said that if you doodle in context with what the teacher is saying, you go up 400% in your ability to remember the work. If you do it in color, it goes up 700%. So that's doodling in class. So before you have a productive session, make sure that you're doodling in context and in color, organizing and creating strategic differentiation within your work so that by the time you sit down and study, you're going to get the most productive use out of your time. Okay, so I wish you all the best. I hope you finish strong this week and look forward to sharing with you next week.